Hello, Royals of East Longmeadow. It's so wonderful to be here with you all today, and thank you for joining me. I'm going to be sharing a story about my pretend wedding to my prince, and afterwards I'll be singing some songs. We're going to have a fantastic time together, and I hope you enjoy. My secret grotto was my favorite place in the sea. It was where I kept all the objects that I'd found from the world above. I was fascinated with humans, even though my father forbade me to have anything to do with them. During my last trip to the surface, I had rescued a handsome prince named Eric when a terrible storm sank his ship. I had fallen in love with him, but since he was human, I left before he could see me. A while later, my fish friend Flounder found a statue of Eric and surprised me with it. I swam over to the statue and began to talk to it. "Ariel," cried Sebastian, a crab who was my father's advisor. "Get a hold of yourself. That's not a human. It's a hunk of rock." I ignored him. The statue said that if you two would please excuse us, he has something he'd like to tell me. I placed my head on the statue's shoulder and pretended to answer him. "Why, yes, I'd love to marry you, Eric." "Marry?" Sebastian roared as he swam back into the grotto. "You will do no such thing. In the name of His Royal Highness King Triton, I forbid this kind of talk." "Oh, Sebastian," I said impatiently. "It's a statue, remember? I'm just pretending." "Don't worry, and please don't tell my father, okay?" Sebastian reluctantly shook his head. "I just know I'm going to regret this," he said. "We can have the wedding right here in the grotto," I said. "There's so much to do. You'll both help me, won't you?" "Help you with what?" Sebastian asked as I handed him some seaweed to decorate with. "It's make-believe. You said so yourself." "Oh, dream weddings are just every bit as much work as real ones," I insisted. "Everything has to be just right." Do you decorate with seaweed when you're having a party? "I think Prince Eric is dressed perfectly for a wedding," I continued. "This will never work. The real Prince Eric is human," Sebastian said. "He lives on land. And every self-respecting sea dweller knows that mermaids live underwater." "That may be true," I said, "but who knows what the future will bring?" "May I be the chef?" Flounder asked. "Please, please." I laughed. "Of course, Flounder," I said. "I want you to prepare all the most wonderful foods you can imagine." "How about some seaweed souffle and some plankton salad?" Flounder asked. "Oh, yes," I cried as I imagined the feast. "And don't forget the wedding cake." "Just leave it to me," Flounder said proudly. "This will be a wedding dinner like no one has ever seen." "You can say that again," Sebastian muttered. "Oh, I can hardly wait," I exclaimed. I can picture the entire ceremony. My sisters will make such beautiful bridesmaids, and my father will look so proud and distinguished as we... "Your father?" Sebastian looked as if he was ready to faint. "Oh, don't be such a party pooper, Sebastian," I said. "I'm not actually going to invite my family since this is a pretend wedding." "At least for now," I added quietly. "That's it!" Sebastian cried. "I can't take any more of this nonsense." "Flounder," I called. "Sebastian's leaving. Can you think of someone else who could be the master conductor of the grand orchestra?" "Grand orchestra?" Sebastian asked. "Master conductor?" "Of course. You're my first choice, Sebastian," I said. "But..." "But nothing," Sebastian cried. "A crab must do what a crab must do. The pretend wedding must go on." Grabbing a candlestick from me, Sebastian began to conduct his pretend orchestra. "May I have this dance?" Flounder asked me, bowing politely. "With pleasure, kind sir," I laughed. Flounder and I danced, twirling around until we were both dizzy. That evening, I was trying on a veil I had made when Flounder arrived with a pearl necklace. "Oh, Flounder, it's beautiful!" I gasped with delight. "It belongs to a friend," Flounder said. "She said you could borrow it." Isn't that a beautiful necklace? I looked around. With the shell I used to decorate my hair, I had something old. The veil I just made was something new. The pearls were my something borrowed, and a bracelet I'd found was my something blue. "That's everything a bride needs," I exclaimed. The next morning, Sebastian nervously followed me as I made my way to the grotto. "I hope no one sees us," he said. "Not getting cold feet, claws, are you?" I teased. "Most assuredly not," Sebastian retorted. "The orchestra is ready when you are." "Are you ready?" Flounder asked when Sebastian and I arrived at the grotto. I nodded, and the fish escorted me down the aisle as the orchestra played the wedding march. Then Sebastian cleared his throat and moved to the front of the grotto. "Do you, Princess Ariel, take this statue to be your," now listen closely to this part, young lady, "make-believe husband?" "I do," I cried happily. "And do you, Mr. Pretend Prince, take this princess to be your make-believe wife?" Sebastian finished. I leaned towards the statue. "He says he does," I told the crab with a giggle. "Well then, I suppose I have to pronounce you imaginary husband and wife," he said. "Hooray!" Flounder cheered. With my eyes glowing like stars, I hugged my friends. "Oh, thank you! This has been a wonderful pretend wedding," I cried. "And now I'm inviting you both to my real wedding to Prince Eric. I'm not sure when it will happen, or where, or how, but I know it will. It won't matter that there's an ocean of difference between us. Nothing can stand in the way of true love." I sighed with happiness, imagining that I was really marrying Eric. At the end of the ceremony, we would kiss. "Ew!" I cried suddenly. I realized that I was actually kissing a very startled Flounder. "Aha!" Sebastian shouted. "See what comes of thinking a mermaid could marry a human prince? As if that could really ever happen." But I didn't care what Sebastian said. I knew in my heart that someday Prince Eric and I would live happily ever after. This is a song I used to sing in my grotto with all my human treasures, and I was hoping so badly that somehow, some way, I could become part of the human world. This song is called Part of Your World, and I hope you'll sing along with me. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. I got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see him dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down the, what's that word again? Sweet. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters?